sometimes our body just overproduces histamines. If you have an overabundance and you're taking Benadryl, that's why it's causing you to get sleepy. Well, we really don't want that to happen any more than we need it to. Okay, so we've been diving in and I've been doing some training on histamines. This is something that I was not educated on as we were, I wasn't educated on it as I went through nursing school, was not educated on it through years of trying to figure out kids and allergies and skin issues and reactions. And there's just a million bazillion reasons why histamines are important to learn. So I'm going to dive in. Okay, so histamine overload is probably a better term than intolerance because histamines have so much value in our body. So there is value with histamines, but I also want you to know like there is value in stopping histamines. So if you've ever benefited from taking a Benadryl, then you know exactly what I'm talking about and the benefits of stopping histamine production. Okay, but what happens when you stop that is you get sleepy, you get tired, all of the above. Okay, I know before I learned about histamines and learned about how to control them, anytime I would go swimming in different parts of the ocean, I would have to take a Benadryl, and sometimes a lot. I mean, a lot. I remember being on a cruise ship and getting into the ocean and just the enzymes around the fish or that part of the ocean breaking out in extreme whelps, and the boat crew pouring vinegar all over my body, and I just smelled like an Easter egg. It was horrible. So you may have seen the benefits of taking that Benadryl, but let me tell you why histamines are very important. Okay, if you get a bee sting and that place starts to swell up on your body, so the histamine coming in, that is a chemical that drives the allergic reaction. Okay, so there's a reason that comes in, and it causes the blood vessels to dilate, and the blood vessels around that area start to dilate, which allows the immune system cells. So the immune cells and that immune system comes in. That's all, you know, we all love our immune system today, but it allows those immune cells to come in and reach the site of the sting and help heal your body. So that allows the pathway for that immune system to come in and take control over what has happened with that bee sting. So the histamine is that chemical that drives the allergic reaction, but it's also allowing that system to come in and help. Okay, but sometimes our body just overproduces histamines. And when another reason the histamines are important, though, is they act as the neurotransmitter. They stimulate the brain, and it helps with your sleep-wake cycle. So if you have an overabundance and you're taking Benadryl, that's why it's causing you to get sleepy. Okay, it's coming in and it's affecting the neurotransmitters, the brain stimulation, and also your sleep-wake cycle. Well, we really don't want that to happen any more than we need it to. So even as bad as allergies are in our home, we have chosen to use food as our first line of defense. And I'm going to tell you why and how. And Benadryl is our emergency relief. So that is our emergency drug. Okay, so if we were to take Benadryl on a regular basis, when we had an allergy attack, we would not be able to turn to Benadryl. So that's something that we had to decide early on. Like, do we want to take Benadryl on a regular basis and always reach for the EpiPen? Or do we want, and sometimes you need to have that on hand, but if we can have Benadryl as our emergency drug and leave all the other stuff for like a true emergency, like going into anaphylaxis emergency, then that's what we chose. But food is the first line of defense. That's what I want to talk to you about, and like really the importance of how you can control your diet and control that histamine response. So let's talk real quick. When you go to the doctor, though, a lot of times this is overlooked and it's misdiagnosed because we're looking at symptoms. The symptoms can be a huge, long list of symptoms, so many. Okay, with histamine overload, you can experience headaches, sinus pressure, allergies, fatigue, your sleep cycle, again, like I said, that can be off completely. You can have heart palpitations, fluid retention. With fluid retention comes weight gain. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. With both of those, menstrual cycle issues, cramping, anxiety. Let me just stop with anxiety. Okay, sometimes it's like the symptoms, we feel like they're in our head and we're going crazy. And it's like, take this medication and let's just stop that feeling that's in your head. But when you have a gut feeling that something's not right, I want to encourage you to research that, to really get down to the root of what's going on. So with edema, okay, fluid retention and edema and puffiness. Have you ever, did you grow up writing on people's skin, like the A? And some people's skin would have that whelp and it would stay there. And you're like, oh, wow, I can see my name on you. That is a histamine reaction. That means that person has more histamine than the other. So it's fun. It's fun to me to link all of this back to things that we've seen. Okay, and then with food, though, I can test. I send out a food sensitivity test. And the reason I suggest that you work with someone like myself when doing these tests is because I can categorize the foods that come back on that test. Not only do I test for the foods, so I can see that you have, whether or not you have a histamine pattern, an oxalate pattern, a pattern with grains, a pattern with things that soak up a lot of GMO and a lot of phosphate. With the Roundup in our society right now, I can categorize those foods to help you reach better success around that elimination. Blind food eliminations diets don't work. Okay, if you've tried one and it didn't work and it has a bad taste in your mouth, I'm sorry. Working with someone is super important. Another thing I do with the food sensitivity test is I measure for gut bacteria. The reason being is that bacteria causes the body to create excess histamines. So again, I want to get to the root of the issue, okay? I don't want to say, okay, you're reacting to this category of histamine causing foods, but not then take it a step further. Is it because there's excess bacteria in the body, in the gut, causing this excess of histamine production? So I'm always trying to take it to the lowest level. But looking at the foods that you do test positive to, is there a common denominator? And a lot of times that's very hard for someone without the education and without the training, honestly, without the experience, to look and see. I went through it years with my son. So I do not, I know it's hard. Okay. I've been in your shoes. I know it's difficult. But when you get down to the root of it, are you really allergic to all these animals and all these outside factors? Or do you have a histamine overload? And we can calm that reaction so you can go outside and enjoy the environment without feeling like you're allergic to everything outside. Okay, it happens. We've gotten rid of dogs, seriously gotten rid of heartbreaking situation animals because of allergic histamine reactions. But yet now we can go riding horses. We can pet animals. I saw my son outside the other day with a cat. Now, I had anxiety over it, but he was loving it and was able to do so without having an allergy attack. Okay, so what does that look like when we get the results back? Is it this big, overwhelming defeat, or, to go in and fix this. No, sometimes we can, I'll look at the enzymes, okay, and let's see what type of enzyme might be missing that helps to break down the histamine response. There's one in particular that allows your body to naturally break that down. We'll see if there's any medications that you're currently on that interfere with histamine breakdown. We'll also see if there's any nutritional deficiencies that interact with histamine breakdown. What you need is that personalized plan, and that's where I can come in and help. So this is a spectrum illness. It's not everybody fits into a box, and that's why I love functional nutrition and functional medicine, is because I don't want anybody to fit into a box. You need that personalized plan. You may be somewhere, and I think of our thyroid even as a spectrum illness. What works for one person definitely doesn't work for another. I know when I was told for years that my thyroid was fine, it was not fine for me. And through functional testing, I also can figure that out for you. But again, this is a spectrum illness, and you may fit somewhere on that spectrum and need help to a certain degree. But y'all, this is one of the fastest things to fix. It is so quick, so easy to really look at food, enzymes, nutritional deficiencies, medication that you're taking that may be interfering with histamine breakdown. So undiagnosed, this can lead to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, rheumatoid arthritis. What happens is the fluid comes into the joints and it stays there, okay, and it doesn't leave, and it can really cause our connective tissue to get off. Okay, it's very important to pay attention to these. So this is why I test. This is why I get down to the root cause to help you determine what is exactly going on. I do not want you to stay at a point of confusion any longer than you have to. Taking that science-based approach to determine what's working in your body, and most importantly, guys, what's not working in your body. But getting down to the root cause, getting in there to fix it, getting to the allergic reactions and histamine overload that may be going on in your system. So I hope this has helped a little bit further. I have done some other work in my nutritional group, so Jennifer Nutrition Coach on Facebook. If you're not in there, go in and join, and I will stay in touch and be available to answer any questions on histamines. And if you want to go in, do a food sensitivity test to see what foods are working for you and which ones are not, please let me know. But I hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.